JTV High School Football Media Days. Happy to welcome back to the show again this year from Jackson High School and from the Northwest Mounties, Stafford Newsome, the head coach, going into his 5th year. Coach, thanks you again. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys having us.
3-6 last year. Seems like the last couple of years had some close games. You're right there with a chance to make the playoffs each of the last couple of years. Last year, 3 losses by 1 score. Just kind of reflect on last year. And again, like I just mentioned, you had last couple of years. You're right there. You can get a couple wins to turn around and potentially get a playoff spot. So just kind of reflect on last year.
Sure. So last year, 3-6, like you said, we lost 3 games by a total of 14 points or 2 possessions combined. Opportunity to learn from those and get better from those, grow from those. But we don't want to look back at the end of the season and have the same conversation. Our goal is, if it's a 1-possession game, we win it. And there were a few last year that we did win that were 1-possession games. But we are also, as a program and as a district, figuring out how to win those games. And it's coming. So big part is a lot of our guys that we had here today, our captains, they played meaningful minutes, very meaningful minutes last year. And we're not starting from ground zero. We're starting with guys who played a lot of minutes, and now they're either in their junior or senior year, and they have varsity experience. So those 3 wins go the opposite way this year.
How have the numbers been so far this summer?
Really good as a program. Past 2 days of camp, we've had 71 kids each day. And we got to take probably better attendance and figure out, because yesterday we had 4 kids that couldn't make it day 1, so we still were at 71, so 4 kids missed somewhere else, but really good. And then we lift weights or work out Monday through Friday every morning at 8 a.m. Numbers in the weight room have been amazing. They've been great. The consistency of guys showing up and working hard and pushing each other has been awesome to watch.
What kind of numbers are you expecting program-wide for this year?
My guess would be somewhere between 80 and 85. Last year we were able to, for the first time since I can remember, I've been at Northwest since 2010 when I student taught, we ran 3 levels of high school football successfully for all 9 weeks. I'm not sure we're there. I think we'll have the numbers, but we just won't have the mixture of guys. For what we do, if we don't have 7 or 8 linemen for JV and freshman team, we can't really do it. And then we're sending those guys a year back. So we might have 2 levels, but our numbers are still going to be high. And when we first took over, we had 54 in the program 5 years ago at this point. And like I said, we had 71, but guesses we'll probably end up around 80, 85.
So you're going to have some new faces this season. You're going to have a new quarterback, a couple of new running backs, some new linemen. But what excites you about the new guys you have coming up?
Ability to be good teammates and be coachable. Right now we have a quarterback competition going on with Dennis Graham and Jonathan Osterberg. Both can throw the ball really, really well. The other part of that is whoever isn't that guy is going to be on the field because they can both run routes and catch the ball really, really well as well. Some new running backs back there. I mean, Rodito is going to be our bell cow and carry the most. Offensive line, we're young, but we're deep. So we have a sophomore is going to be our center. Peyton Huey, number 73, would be our right tackle, who has now been on varsity for 4 years. And then the rest of them are juniors. And we're excited for this year for them, and because we're not expecting them to play like juniors. We're expecting them to play like seniors. And then next year we get them again. So we're very excited for all that. And defensively, we're switching some stuff up from an odd front to an even front. And we have guys back there. Tobin Seeley came up last year and played with us as a sophomore. Was one of our best defenders on the field. He's going to be the guy in the middle calling the plays. Grayson Souls is a guy that's all over the field on defense. And he's only going to be a junior. So we're really happy about having those guys back for another 2 years.
So I have to ask, my favorite game every year, Northwest versus Western. I feel like that rivalry is one of the best around here. So how important is it to win that game? And I know you guys were extremely close last year. So what kind of adjustments do you think you guys are going to make this year to try to get that win?
I think first and foremost, I think it was even closer than people look at that game. Go back and watch it. I know it's a 4-point game at the end of it all, but it's not, in my mind, a 4-point game at all. I thought JTV did a really good job of capturing a play that we had that I think is a touchdown catch in a high school football game. And make that extra point, that's 7 point or 4 points swing because we settled for a field goal. That we would be up 10-0, and that's 2 possession game in the first quarter. We ended up losing that game by 4 points, so there's the difference. That being said, we still had everything we wanted in front of us to win that game. I think a big part of it is last year when the game was going our way, we were high on emotions, and I'll be the first one to admit that I'm guilty of that. I get pretty high on the sideline with emotions. I totally understand, but I think that goes back to our guys. We're learning how to win games, and we're going to close them out this year. So, great rivalry. Do we want to win it? By all means, but right now we got to worry about Lori Norks in week 1, and then worry about week 2 after that.
You mentioned Rododo a second ago. We hear his name a lot, on the basketball court, but he brings a lot of speed. And I know you said he's going to be a big part of your team this year, so I can imagine you're excited to see him continue to develop and get better. And what we've seen from him already in football and basketball, and he's just going into his sophomore year, too.
Yeah, and you wouldn't know it. They just asked over here who's like the most emotional guy on the team, and who's the calmest, and they said Ro was the calmest. He's just
really.
You'll never know. I don't know if the kid's heartbeat has ever gone up at all. Probably because he's such a good athlete and trains so much. But as good as athlete as he is, he's a better human being. He is, and he is so freaking coachable. I know last year we were trying to tell him to slow down a little bit when we run counter, and he didn't look down at me figuratively. He's just taller than me.
He just wanted to get in and run.
Yeah, and he looks down at me. He's like, I don't like to run like that, Coach. I said, well, I need you to watch it because it's a difference in a 4-yard gain and 12-yard gain or a touchdown. And he watched it. He's like, oh, I see it now. He goes back in, and it would have been like a 78-yard touchdown, but we blew the whistle at 50. It was in practice. Super coachable. He's the hardest high school working athlete I've ever seen in my life. And I've been around a lot. But he was just voted to be captain by his peers as a sophomore. I think that speaks a lot to how positive he is and how good of a teammate he is. Yes, he's a good athlete. I know he's a really good basketball player personally. I think his ceiling is higher in football. But I think either way he decides to go, he's going to be okay.
Last year came out power eye. You really wanted to emphasize running the football. Is that going to change in any way?
Well, that's who we are. That's our identity. That's who I am. Okay, and I think you look at the Lions. I think a team really does take on their coach's attitude or persona. I don't think everybody on the Detroit Lions wants to fight someone in a phone booth, but I think Dan Campbell does. So when they all get together, they're okay to do it. We will have power eye. We will get in it when we need to eat the clock. But we got guys, too, that we may be more spread this year than we ever have been in the past. Probably a lot of twins, a pro formation, twins on our right and left. We have, Dallas Higgermeyer has moved into our district. He was at Springport last year, all-state wide receiver. He's pretty good. Very coachable young man as well. And it's like, hey, if we have Rowe in the backfield, he's out there. Someone's got to pick their poison. Dennis Graham, if he's running routes for us out there in the slot, he's got great hands. Another kid that has a high ceiling in basketball as well. So I think for us, like right now, this would be our 3rd day, but we have 2 days of camp. We have put in things that we've never ran in 4 years since we've been here. Our kids know the power eye. We can line up in that and run it pretty good, pretty well. But the other offenses, the spreads, the trips, the doubles, the pro formations, those are going to be a much bigger part of our playbook this year.
Well, that's another thing I know you really want to emphasize, too, is ball control and taking control of time of possession, right?
Yep. I think we will have the ability to eat the clock. I think we'll have the ability to score quickly, too.
So you opened the year with Loy Norix and Adrian. Again, just like last year, you beat Loy Norix last year and then lost to Adrian. That was another really good game, too. They came down to it.
Yeah, we led the entire game to 1:10 seconds left, and then their backup quarterback had came in. We had him for a sack, throws a touchdown pass, and we believe we're going to still win. And we threw a pick on that play, and probably should have been a flag on it, as refs told me the next day at youth football, but it doesn't matter now. So,
what excites you about those 2 non-league games, and Lloyd Norrick's being in Division One. To get in the playoffs now, playoff points are huge. So having a team in Division One.
Sure, absolutely. A lot of excitement. First thing is week one. It's week one. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You're finally putting on pads and hitting someone else in a different color jersey. For Lloyd Norrick to be a Division One team and obviously a lot of playoff points on the line, and then take it a step further, they have an offensive tackle who's rated the #1 tackle in the state of Michigan, going to the University of Michigan. And we're told over here that our right tackle is one of the best in the area, if not the state of Michigan, and I agree with that. So my goal is, a game within a game, I'd love to see what our right tackle does against their Division One tackle. Last year I thought we held our own pretty well against it, but they have a new coach as well, so we don't know what to expect from them offensive-wise or defensive-wise or, discipline-wise from their guys, but we can't control that either. We can control getting in our bear set, running our spread correctly, running our defense correctly, special teams being a big third of the game, and doing what we can.
We got an intervention behind you. How much do these guys mean to you?
They mean a lot. My wife and I have our own 6 kids. This is a shout out to her. We just bought a 12-passenger van. I'm trying to have her fill it up. But on the other side of that too, like, these are our kids too. Okay, they're not our blood, but they know if they need something, we're going to do our best to help them. If they text us at 2 a.m., we're going to try to respond as soon as we can and be there for them. And I expect that from them for each other too, not to me, but if one of them try to get a hold of each other, the other one should be there for them.
Of course, you guys always play Western, but then week 9, you've got Jackson on your schedule too. I asked Coach Bentley the same thing. All 3 of the biggest schools in the area playing each other. How much? I can imagine that excites you too, just for a local rivalry.
It does, and going back to the Adrian question, like next year we're in the SEC, so we'll be playing Adrian every year and Jackson High every year, and we would love to keep Parma on the schedule moving forward too. Or maybe even try to get them into the SEC, and then it takes care of itself. But week 9, I know when the season hits, it's a blink away. But in all reality, we have no idea what teams look like in week 9 because one injury could change, one guy going down, the next guy being moved, and another guy being moved to his with a domino effect. So we're excited to play Jackson High. Haven't really thought about it that much so far.
What do these guys behind you need to do in the rest of the team this next month to prepare for the season and start 1-0?
Remember that they're kids and have fun with the game of football. Because whether you're a kid or a 14-year vet in the NFL, football's not forever. And I say that and I want to coach till the day I die. But playing football is not forever. And they got to remember that they're kids. They want to be friends with these guys, make lifetime memories, and continue to be coachable. And the momentum we've had the past 2 days carry that forward.
Coach, best of luck this season. Always appreciate the time, and good luck to you guys too.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Coach Stafford Newsome here on JTV.